Hello, this is Bunting, and today we're going to be in Vital making some basses in the style of Koan sound. As you can tell, this is in a sampler here, but the Vital patch is right down here. It definitely needs some post-processing to really make it shine, but the end result is oh so worth it. So right away, let's jump to our fresh patch of Vital down here, just a boring old saw wave. But before I go any further, I just want to say the majority of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you enjoy my content, please consider doing that. That would help me out a lot. So right away, let's get rid of this boring old saw wave and replace it with a factory basic shapes sine wave. Much better, much better. And right away, enabling our sampler down here for a bit of white noise. Okay, after that, as is typical with all Neuro type of basses, we're going to get a notch filter. Clicking on notch blend and dragging it to the middle. Cool. But as you might be able to hear, our noise is not being filtered, and we want that. So we're going to change this from going into our effects to going through our filter. There we go. And additionally, let's turn this resonance down and drive up for some beef. Now, I don't know about you, but this distortion does not sound very good to me, so that's what we have the dirty for. That is much beefier, much better for the type of sound we're going for. Now for some easy movement, we're just going to randomize this cutoff here. And let's go to matrix and make this bipolar, so it swings both ways. Cool. After that, let's enable our filter 2 and put it on notch blend for yet another notch filter. And let's randomize that as well and make that bipolar. Now we have a problem here. That is, this is only taking from oscillator 2, but we want it to take from our filter. So we can just click filter 1 here. Now our sound is going through filter 1, getting boosted, then going through filter 2, which is just what we want. Cool. Now let's also change the style of this random to sine interpolate, just because I like it better. Cool stuff. Now next, we're going to go into our effects here and start beefing up our sound. Let's add our distortion first. Now initially when making this, I thought, alright, turn up the drive on our distortion, except I found the drive on this dirty filter just sounds much better for what I'm going for. But we can use this for some filtering. So let's put it on pre, turn down our cutoff and resonance just a bit. Put this around like 37. It cuts out most of our stuff, but this will really be brought out down the line with our effects and post-processing. And it opens up some room to add another wavetable to this. Let's go under Glorklunk and Water Razor. It's kind of hard to hear, but if we disable this, you hear a lot of high harmonics, and I don't really want that, so we're going to bend this down. Let's just add some nice movement with a random oscillator. Let's put this on sine interpolate as well, and turn this distortion back on. Cool. So after this distortion, we're going to add some chorus, just to make it wider and a little spacier and cooler. Now I don't want this chorus going anywhere, so let's freeze it, dragging that down. And I don't want it ringing out when the note is over, so let's put the feedback to 0. And also I only want it on the high end of the sound. So let's just put it up there, turning our cutoff up and spread down. Next thing to bring it out a bit is our compressor. right on the multiband mode, and let's turn up our attack and release just so it doesn't have any weird artifacts going on. The next thing for this Koan sound WOMP they often have is a bandpass filter. Enabling our filter and dragging this blend to the center, we get a bandpass. Let's turn down our resonance a bit and assign an LFO to this cutoff. Let's turn this down a bit too. Now let's make this a bit more interesting by making this peak a little tinier and adding another one a little offset. Now that's pretty cool, but it would be cooler if it was a triplet, because Koan Sound likes to use those. Cool. Next thing, for some even further movement, is another notch filter. Turn our resonance down a bit and add yet another random on sign interpolate. And make it bipolar. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, all right, where's the sauce? And don't worry, I'm getting to that. The first thing for some post-processing sauce is this utility to make the bass mono. Speaking of making the bass mono, while we're at it, let's add a dedicated sub to this sound. Enabling oscillator 3, going to factory basic shapes, and directing this right out, no effects or anything. Also, while I'm here, sorry for missing this earlier, we don't want this going through filter 2, we want this through filter 1, and also want the level down a bit. Hope you didn't miss that. That's pretty important for the well-being of our sound. Alright, after this utility, yet another notch filter. Oh my gosh, it's notch galore, but don't worry, this is the last one. Turning it around the center, turning our resonance down a bit and our mount up, so it's just kind of waving around on its own. Next thing, to beef it up, to crisp up the high end, some overdrive, and dragging this up to the high end. That's really nice. And to really bring it out, for real this time, OTT. That is nice. With the time up just a bit. Also, to boost the high end for even more liquidiness, let's just drag this up here with a little bracket. And that is awesome. So let's duplicate this here and bounce it to audio. Let's freeze this track. Waiting. Okay, it's taken a minute and I have nothing to say here, so that's the way it goes. And flattening it, cool. Okay, now let's add a MIDI clip here and just delete this empty, useless one. And drag our fresh audio sample down to here. Also, I'm putting this over to drums, just for some added fun. Now let's start drawing in our melody here. That's what I'm going for. And let's duplicate that. And cool. And add an OTT after that. And in addition, let's turn this to a sampler, right? And this is great because it gives us that signature pitch bend, sampler pitch bend. Just listen to this. That's where that signature Koan sound, like wind up effect, comes from. It's really awesome. And you can draw in some automations here. And how about instead of doing that, let's pitch bend it up. That sounds cool, honestly. Not opposed to that. Cool. But as you see, it's starting in the same position every time, which is okay. It still sounds good, but we can get some more variation by messing with this sample start for some awesome stuff. But as you can tell, what the heck, it does not automate. But that's where this modulation parameter comes in. Let's turn on our auxiliary envelope and select our loop start. Is that it? Is that it? Sample loop start. Loop start 100. Okay, that is not it. I'm so sorry to inform you. I'm just going right over here and looking real quick. Don't hate me. Don't click off. Everybody makes mistakes. It's sample offset is what we want. Okay? Sample offset and have that on 100. So wherever your peak is, which you can automate, is where the sample starts. So every new note, let's have a new position. Now, another thing that's pretty important to Koan sounds, well, sound, that kind of meshes with the bass at times is Foley. So I just have this going, kind of with the drums. You see how it kind of meshes with it? It's real nice. Cool. Also add some water samples, be creative with your Foley use, and you can further resample this bass as well, just like putting it into an audio clip, then processing the heck out of it with more notch filters, and even add a frequency splitter here. Frequency splitter. As they said in the AMA, they like to automate kind of like the levels on their stuff. Add different processing to these type of things. I'm going to put the link for this in the description so you can mess with it. And really just post-process the heck out of their basses. As far as I know from their AMA, that's what they like to do. As for this more high-end stuff, or the top, the melodic stuff I had going, I did this in Serum. Sorry, it's not in Vital. But you can easily do this in Vital. This is literally just a saw wave with some LFO on a filter and an arpeggiator. This is 2 saw waves, a little detuned with some chorus, hyperdimension, which you don't necessarily need, multiband compression, and a plucky envelope. That is if you're interested in that more melodic elements I added to this little loop here. But that about covers it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and give me suggestions for future videos. As always, if you liked, be sure to like. It looks like this. Click that. And if you want to see more stuff like this, subscribe to me and hit that bell icon so you get notified of new sound design content. That about covers it. This was Bunting. Peace out.